All right, shalom, shalom, Israel. This is the brother Shaquat Rakad coming from the company of Prophets Camp that is located out here in Tampa, Florida. And first and foremost, before I start this lesson, I want to give all honor and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Hakadash. All right, Yahweh and Yahweh Shah being the true names of the Heavenly Father and the only begotten Son, written in the Paleo Hebrew. And I also want to give double honors unto the apostles and bishops of Great Millstone who teach this truth and ruleth well. All right, today this is going to be a simple breakdown on Daniel the 7th chapter from verse 1 going down to verse 8, which is speaking about these four beasts, in which these four beasts represent, four major empires, man. Just a little history, man. All right, this is Daniel 7:1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. All right, which Daniel's about to receive a vision, man, which in the book of Habakkuk 2 and 3 talks about how the vision is set for an appointed time, and those visions referring to the prophecies. All right, but the Lord would give out, the prophets, spoken of in the Holy Bible, different, visions of these different prophecies. They'll write them down to the best of their ability. They'll go out and prophesy, man. All right, which Daniel's receiving, a vision of four different beasts, which represent four major empires. It says, Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. All right, referring to the Assyrian Empire. All right. It says, I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. All right. It says, I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. All right, referring to how the Babylon Empire, how the Assyrian Empire was conquered, by the Babylon Empire. All right, and it says, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Okay, and who was that man? Nebuchadnezzar, which was the leader, of Babylon. It says, and behold, another beast, a second like to a bear. Okay, referring to the Medo-Persians. It says, and it raised up itself on one side. All right, which, the bear, has a lot of power. All right, in which the Medo-Persians, was one of the greatest armies established, one of the biggest armies established. Okay, and it was a joint empire. And it said, and it raised up itself on one side, referring to how, basically, the Persians end up, outnumbering the Medes. Okay. And it says, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. Okay. Which those three ribs represent, Libya, Babylon, and, Egypt. Okay. And it says, and they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Okay, which this was one of the biggest armies established, man. All right, just to back up what I said, about the joint empire. It says, Daniel 8:3, then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had two horns, and the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. Okay, referring, backing up what I was saying, which the ram referring to the Medo-Persian Empire, which had two horns, but the Persians ended up taking, all the power. All right, where it said it lifted up on one side. All right, it says, verse 6, it says, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it four wings of a fowl. Okay, which is referring to the Grecian Empire. Okay, And it said, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl, which we know the leader of the Grecian Empire, okay, was Alexander the Great. All right, which, hold on, what the fuck? No, okay, which, which the Grecians end up conquering the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay, and those 4 wings of a fowl referring to his 4 generals, his 4 successors. All right, and it says, and dominion was given to it. And let me look up those 4 successors real quick. Alexander the Great. All right, it's Antigonus, Cassander, Ptolemy, and Seleucus. I don't know how to pronounce that. All right. All right, it says, after this I beheld, and lo, like another, like a leopard. And why was it referring it to a leopard? Okay, which, a leopard is swift. Okay, you could look up on YouTube, a leopard hunting down his prey. Okay, and which really the Lord was dealing with Alexander the Great during that time period, when they were battling the Medo-Persians, and which you could look up, let me pull it up. You can actually look up, it's a documentary on Netflix that talks about it, the making of, yup, you can watch this on Netflix, which give you a vivid image, a visual about this time period. Okay, which I said, the Medo-Persians was one of the biggest armies ever established, but the Lord was dealing with Alexander the Great. They ended up taking them out, man. All right. In which I want to grab something real quick. All right, it's Daniel 8:4. It says, I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will and became great. All right, referring to the Medo-Persians, okay. The Persian Empire system became great. It was unstoppable. Nobody could beat them. Okay, but the Lord was dealing with Alexander the Great, which Alexander the Great and the Grecian Empire ended up taking out, the Medo-Persians. Persian Empire, I could say. All right. Back to that Daniel. All right, it says verse 7. Okay. It says, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. I referring to the Roman Empire. Okay, it says it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. All right, it says it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. All right, like I said, each empire, the technology got more advanced, but the Roman Empire, they couldn't be fucked with. Okay, they just couldn't be fucked with, man. Okay. And it was dreadful and terrible. Why? Because the way they ran their system, man. Okay, which, the other empires, they had kings. Okay. But the Roman Empire, they had what you would call, senates. Okay. And it says and it had 10 horns. Okay. And which let me pull up. Let's see if I can find those 10 horns. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull it up on here. All right, but those 10 horns represent, Edomite nations, coming together. All right, so and what you have this thing called the EU, okay, but before the EU it was called the ECC, the European. I forgot what it was called. Let me look it up. ECC. European Union. Bear with me, Salakia. Oh, EEC. European Economic Community. Okay, before the EU. Yep, before the EU, you had the EEC. ECC, whatever it is. EEC. All right, which those same powers, which these 10 horns represent, major, Edomite nations coming together, which today's age it will be called the EU. Okay. But verse 8. All right, I'm gonna close it out with this. Abarat Zah, I pray this lesson is edifying, okay? It's touching up on a little history, man. All right, it says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came among them another little horn. All right, now little horns referring to America, okay? Because America went through a series, of wars, with these other horns, okay? And which we know America, before America got established, it went through a series of wars, okay, against certain horns, and America came up out of, Great Britain. All right. It says, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. And yeah, there you go. And which we know America is that, that whore. All right, everything they push out, is contrary to, the Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, speak blasphemy, etc. Man, they speak up against, they push out agendas, everything contrary to this Bible, the Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, and speaking great things, referring to their philosophies, the ABC, all these different movements and etc. Man. All right. But But Yahweh, I'm gonna close it out with that. Yahweh, I pray this lesson, it's been edifying. All right. Once again, this was a simple breakdown. All right. Daniel the 7th chapter, verse 1 through 8 on these 4 beasts. Yahweh, I pray this lesson is edifying to whoever is watching. If this lesson was edifying unto you, it'll be edifying to the hopeful elect, to the Akim and the Akwath that's tuning in. And once again, before I close out, I want to give all honor and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem Chakadash. And once again, I want to give double honors unto the apostles and bishops of Great Millstone who teach this truth and ruleth well. And with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.